This shit more than a game.
Perfect.
Hello? Is this thing on? Can anybody hear me? Just making sure. I know it's the off season and a lot of people go away in the off season on my channel. Hell, even my co-hosts, which I ain't gonna even call them co-hosts anymore. I'm just calling them special guests. Even they don't show up for the off season shows. So I just want to make sure that I actually have people in the audience tonight. Because off season, my co-hosts don't show up. My special guests, let's call them that now from here on out. My special guests don't show up. I just want to make sure that my audience is here and I'm not talking to myself, and that you guys can actually hear me. And it's a snow day, so maybe some of you guys are still capturing that last bit of snow magic before you have to come inside after what was truly a magical day for Louisiana and bits of Texas, but especially for Louisiana. I think Georgia too, but we don't care about Georgia now, do we? No, we do care about. We care about the playoffs. And boy, oh boy, after watching the games this past Sunday, it made me realize how much I miss being in the playoffs. See, don't get me wrong, man. The playoffs, they're tough, man. The playoffs are probably the most anxiety-inducing feeling that I've had so far in my young life. The NFL playoffs, because this isn't the NBA. This isn't the MLB. This isn't even the NHL. There's no, man, they got us tonight, but you know what? We'll get them in game 4. We'll get them in game 5. There is no tomorrow. Every possession, every play, every coach's decision, every play call, it feels like life or death in the playoffs. And I remember our 2017 to 2020 run when it felt like the Saints had that window for one last run where Drew Brees can go out with at least 2 rings. And I remember how anxiety-filled I was for all 4 of those years come January, because good Lord have mercy, did it feel like, God, if this play goes bad, if we have a turnover, if we let the team get up by enough points, it could be the end of our season, the magical seasons that we have from 2017 to 2020. We all know what happened. We actually wind up not winning over rain, mainly in 2018 because we got screwed by the Rams. But hey, Karmas came and got them at least last week. I mean, I know the Rams have won the Super Bowl since then, but still, all that to say, I watched the games this past weekend and I looked at the Detroit Lions, and man, did I feel bad for their fan base, because it feels like they're doing kind of similarly to what the 2017 to 2020 Saints were doing. You get so close. You have these dominant regular seasons, and then come playoff time, you just can't come in, kick that door down, and get to the championship. I feel for Lions fans. My heart goes out to Lions fans. I watched that game just wondering, man, how do they feel right now? Like, they're down 10 points. Their season is on the line. There is no, we'll get them in game 3. We'll get them in game 4. They caught us slipping today. We'll get them next time. No, the playoffs, man. The NFL playoffs is the greatest sports spectacle ever. And I say that with my chest. The NFL playoffs is the greatest sports spectacle ever. Because that shit is life or death, man. That shit is literally more than a game. There is no tomorrow in the NFL playoffs. And I watch, and I was wondering, man, how do the Lions fans feel right now? Man, how do the Ravens fans feel right now? And it made me wonder about 2017 to 2020. And I was like, man, as bad as the New Orleans Saints are, do I miss it? Do I miss that feeling of anxiety? Do I miss that feeling of life or death every play? Like, that takes a lot out of you, bro. Like, my heart is beating a mile a minute every playoff game, because I'm like, there is no tomorrow, man. Like, we work our ass off from September to December to have a shot in January to get to the promised land. And there is no tomorrow in the playoffs. You got to have 3 or 4 damn near perfect games. And if you ain't got a perfect game, you better have a lot of luck on your side. And that shit is so anxiety inducing. And I watched the Lions game where I saw their fan base watch their season crumble before their eyes after having their greatest regular season of all time. I watched the Ravens fans, the ones that were in Baltimore and the ones that was on social media, watch Lamar's likely third MVP season come to an end without them actually being in the Super Bowl. I watch that and I say, man, I know how those guys feel. Do I actually want to get back to that, or should I actually appreciate that? Hell, what comes with mediocrity like the New Orleans Saints have had the past 4 years, what comes with being an average franchise is that we ain't got to worry about stressing out in January. We ain't got to worry about stressing out in February. My special guest, I ain't gonna call him a co-host anymore. I don't know where is he still even alive. My special guest, Ziggy, had text our family group chat, and he was like, hey, the good thing about not making the playoffs is we ain't got to worry about losing in January. And I was like, he actually has a good point. It's like, do we actually miss that feeling in January and February of anxiety, of our heart rate going a mile a minute? Do we actually miss that? You're goddamn right we do, man, because there's shit more than a game. And even though we know that there's only one team that hosts the Lombardi Trophy, even though we know that we are subjecting ourselves to the most painful and agony of heartbreaks come January or February, we know that we only got one life to live, and this shit more than a game. And we want to see our boys in the playoffs having a shot to host that Lombardi one last time for the city of New Orleans and the state of Louisiana. So as we are in the midst of our head coaching search, all I ask is whoever the candidate is that wins the job, whoever that candidate is, man, just make the New Orleans Saints fun again. Make the New Orleans Saints a contender again. Let us have something to have hope for in January and February. Give us a reason to have our hearts broken in January and February, and not for us to be planning our rooms to go couch in November and December. We ain't asking for a Super Bowl, though we damn sure will take it. But just make the New Orleans Saints fun again, man. That's all we want. Make the New Orleans Saints fun again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the John O'Barnes Show. But it's shit more than a stream.
This shit more than a game. We ain't playing on no field. We fans born kinda wild. Fire in our hearts revealed. Yeah, we shout and we cheer, our passion loud and clear. Together we rise, this love no compromise. Holler repping our dream team. From the sidelines we scream, living in this fan's dream. Yeah, we shout and we cheer, our passion loud and clear. Together we rise, this love no compromise.
This shit more than a game.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. This shit is more than a game. And like my big bro Cav says, this shit is more than a snow day. So I know how y'all know we always start off the John O'Barnes Show, right? We always say we got to leave this shit more than the game in the chat. We're going to do something a little different today for this historic, this magical day in Louisiana. Leave this snow more than a game in the chat to celebrate God's great gift to us that he gave Louisiana and Texas today with historic snow that we definitely ain't used to seeing in these two states, man. Leave a dish snow more than a game. A magical day it was. A magical day it was. Jerry must have read in my mind because he already had the caption ready. This snow more than a game. Jerry, that's why you are this shit more than a game certified. We got some things to talk about tonight, guys. I am a one-man show. I'm probably going to be a one-man show, honestly, y'all, for the rest of the offseason, like until the actual regular season. My special guests, I ain't gonna call them co-hosts anymore. They have their own lives. They probably see the numbers on YouTube. They're like, well, shit, John, your audience can take off the off season. Why can't we? And I can't blame them. I can't blame them. I really can't. But hey, that's why it's called the John O'Barnes Show. It's not called the Jono and Ziggy Show. I see Ziggy in the chat. I ain't talking to Ziggy right now. It ain't called the Jono and Ziggy Show. So I don't want y'all to be like, where's Ziggy at? Where's Sean? Well, first off, Sean, even during the regular season, wasn't showing up. So y'all damn sure knew that once the off season hit, he wasn't going to show up. But it's the John O'Barnes Show. So hopefully you guys have loved me enough to say, you know what, we'll still kick it with you, Jono, and watch the show even though you're going to be a one-man band basically going forward. However, I will start to have, as the Super Bowl commences, a lot more special guests this offseason that we can do some nice interviews with and whatnot. We're going to try to take this show to another level this offseason, try to make it so that it's not a show that people just feel like they can only tune into the regular season, and a show that people want to make sure that they watch, like you guys, my loyalists, watch every single week, which I appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. I also want to say, we got one super chat. If we get 5 super chats tonight, we got one already, I will have a special announcement. Now, however, I do see some people already in the chat might know what that announcement is, which is fine, but there's some people who don't know. So in order to kind of motivate you guys to stay engaged, everybody, please keep it a secret if you already know. But I'll announce it in a little bit. And I know that we don't have that many people on YouTube, so 5 super chats might be asking for a lot. So maybe if we get 2, I'll be like, okay, I'll let you guys know the special announcement. And it could be any super chat from $1 to $1 million if you want. But leave a super chat, and we have a special announcement for you guys on the John Barnes channel. That I'm very excited about. But I'm also very excited about this snow, y'all. I am very excited about this snow. Well, first of all, hold on. Because I see we got a super chat. I can't believe my eyes. Honestly, y'all, it feels like, and I hate to say this, Falcons fans have been leaving more super chats lately than Saints fans. I don't know what the hell is up with that. I don't know if New Orleans is as cash poor as the media hypes us up to be. Not that I'm saying that you guys better give me a super chat, but is Atlanta that far advanced enough that the Falcons fans can afford to leave super chats, but we can't? I feel like they be trying to mock us with that. I'm like, man, look at y'all little broke-ass franchise. Here, John, take this little $2 measly-ass dollars. New Orleans can't afford no damn super chats. We'll help you out. Got me looking like a goddamn hobo on the street with my change. I need y'all to step up, Saints fans. I need y'all to step up. But Pro P, because you left the super chat, even though you are a Falcons fan, you still do get the This Shit More Than the Game air horns. However, you get the bootleg version of the This Shit More Than the Game air horns. Pro P says the Aints will not be seeing the playoffs this decade. Well, you guys are 3 non-playoff seasons away from making it a decade without the playoffs. So you would know. You're an expert at this. So I actually take that chat pretty seriously, because if any fan base is experts at this point at not making the playoffs for a long duration of time, it is the Atlanta Falcons. So I hope Mickey Loomis sees that chat and gets his act together, because we all know if the Falcons fans are saying that we're not going to be a playoff team in a decade, we all know the Falcons fans are experts at not making the playoffs, then maybe we actually got some bad things that we really need to hope that we can get together in New Orleans Saints land. Now, before we get to our sports talk, again, y'all, this is no more than the game. What a historic day it was. Again, in Texas, mainly in Louisiana. I saw even Georgia got more snow. Georgia is getting snow like you would think the Falcons made the Super Bowl, huh? Hell freezing over. But what a day it was, man. I am blessed that I was able to partake in some of the snow activities, because y'all know this snow more than a game. Y'all know every time I try to remix the This Shit More Than a Game, I always wonder, do I go with this blank more than a game or this shit more than a blank? So I was like, do I do the this shit more than the snow? And Lord knows today, this shit was definitely more than the snow. I said, do I go with this snow more than a game? A little behind the curtain. Usually if the word that I'm trying to replace the motto with begins with an S, then I replace the shit word. So if it's snow, I say, okay, well, it's snow more than a game because it already starts with an S, the second word of the motto, so it's a little easier to say. Not that you guys care, but that's just kind of how my brain works. So I say, oh, well, snow, shit, but start with an S, I'll just replace shit with snow instead of going with this shit more than the snow. So if you ever wonder why sometimes I go with this shit more than Super Bowl, or this shit more than hurricane, but not this hurricane more than the game, but for the snowstorm, I go with this snow more than the game. Simply put, shit begins with an S, snow begins with an S. I thought it would be easier to go with this snow more than the game. It rolls off the tongue better. I've been thinking about you guys. I've been thinking about you guys in crazy ways like that. Like, how can I make it easier for my audience? But I had a great time. I don't know about what you guys did. Let me know in the chat if you did. I saved some of the snow. I did it specifically in the New Orleans Pelicans Cup, because I say, Lord knows, it's going to be a cold day in hell if the Pelicans ever win a championship. So I said, well, let me put some goddamn snow in the Pelicans Cup. So if the day ever comes where the Pelicans win a championship, I will save this cup with this snow for the rest of my life, and I will only take it out the fridge and throw it up in celebration if the Pelicans ever win a championship. And if they do, it'll be a cold day in hell, hence the snow. So I have my cup, and hopefully that cup is not in my refrigerator for the next 10, 15, 20 years. But the way this franchise has been my past 2 decades, I don't know about that. One thing I really appreciate, though, is that a lot of fans were leaving me some images on social media of their snow day experience in New Orleans, Louisiana, and beyond. And one fan left me one that's kind of going mini viral in New Orleans. My guy, I don't know if it's well, I don't know how does he want to ORB influencer or does he say it? Either way, he left me the greatest snow angel that you can leave. Oh, okay. If it's not an angel, then it's just a very fun message. And that is F the Falcons. And you know what I really appreciate about that? Not the fact that he wrote out F the Falcons in one of the most historic snow blizzards in New Orleans and Louisiana history, but he could attack the Saints. He could attack the Falcons. He could attack one of the Saints players, Falcons player. No, he thought to tag yours truly. And it made me wonder, like, man, is my legacy in life going to be people just know me as the guy who really hated the Atlanta Falcons? If so, sign me up. That made me feel special. I'm glad that fans think about me when they do things like that. And this post has since gone semi-viral on Twitter with a lot of New Orleans people enjoying and getting a laugh out of it. And what really warms my cold heart is a lot of Falcons fans sort of tweet and they're like, oh, yeah. But let me tell y'all Falcons fans something. Rain, snow, or shine, it's always after Falcons. But they weren't done. The fans were not done. I got another photo that was sent to me on social media. And I love it. I'm like, good Lord have mercy. I think fans, I'm the after Falcons guy apparently now. When people want to hate the Falcons, they know I got to tag John Barnes. That makes my heart so special, man. If I come away with anything in this content creation career that I've done for the past 3 or 4 years, it's that, people know that I hate the Falcons, and they know now that if they want a symbol, if they want an avatar of somebody who knows that it's fuck the Falcons 24/7, 365 days out the year, then that man is Mr. This Shit More Than the Game himself, John Barnes. So I appreciate the fans who left me these kind messages throughout a historic day of snow in Louisiana. But we were not done. I'm so warm-hearted that people are thinking of me when they want to get some of the great snow day experiences in Louisiana. My girl, Jeanette, left me this amazing photo that I hope she frames that says this shit more than the blizzard, and she has her special this shit more than the city shirt. Oh man, what a epic photo. What an absolutely epic photo. Jeanette, you ain't never looked better than you do now wearing that this shit more than the city shirt in a historic Louisiana blizzard. How awesome is that? How absolutely awesome is that? It's almost as awesome as you are buying a This Shit More Than the City shirt, which is still on sale for the next few weeks at www.jonobarnes.com or thisshitmorethanthegame.com. I am proud to announce, this isn't a special announcement, by the way, but I am proud to announce that we have officially crossed over the $700 mark. So we will now be making a $700 plus donation to the Greater New Orleans Day Tragedy Fund. I could not do it without the huge support of all of my online supporters, as well. I'm gonna give credit where it's due. The Bucks fans discovered the campaign last week, and it's the Bucks fans that got me over the $700 mark for the This Shit More Than the City campaign that we've been doing for the past month. So shout out to the Bucks fans, man. I give credit where it's due, and I appreciate fans that can separate rivalry from reality. The Bucks fans have been doing the damn thing. They have sent over $100+ in donations from their fan base. And because of that, we are now over $700 that we are going to donate to the New Year's Day Tragedy Fund. So how awesome is that, right? Little old me, very small content creator, literally only 22 people watching my stream right now on YouTube, now over 170 across all platforms, but still only 22 people watching on YouTube. And yet I still have this amazing, strong knit community, and it shows the power of social media when everybody tends to hop on the negativity of social media. So shout out to the Bucks fans, shout out to my girl Jeanette, and shout out to everybody who bought a This Shit More Than the City t-shirt. And of course, everybody who sent me their snow day photos on Twitter today. But y'all know we're not done, right? Y'all know we're not done. Oh, Lord, we had to get a 28 to 3 reference in there. And my dudes from the 28 to 3 podcast sent me their special snow message with a simple 28 to 3. I don't know, y'all. Let me know in the chat. Which one do y'all prefer better? What message do y'all think resonates more? A fuck the Falcons or a 28 to 3? Either way, that shows why this shit more than a game. New Orleans, no matter what. It could be the apocalypse. The skies can separate and Jesus H. Christ can come down from the heavens above himself to lead us all at once to the promised land. And we would still, in our final words, say, Jesus, before we go, before we leave planet Earth, we just want to say one last thing. Fuck the Falcons. And then Jesus would be like, well, okay, y'all not coming with me. But still, it would have been worth it, right? Thank you to everybody, truly. Thank you to everybody who left some photos for me and thought about me while they were having a great day in New Orleans and in other Louisiana cities and even outside of Louisiana. I appreciate you guys, man. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you guys. I hope y'all had a great snow day. I think it's awesome, man, that we got to experience that we got to witness that. You know, I always kind of like look at life and I'm like, man, what did in my lifetime I get to experience, right? And, you know, usually sometimes we hop on like the negative things that we experienced in our lifetime. Like, man, we in our lifetime, y'all, I think most of y'all, I don't know how young my audience is, but we got to witness, sadly, 9/11. We got to experience in our lifetime Hurricane Katrina. We lived through a pandemic, like some crazy stuff that we have experienced in our lifetime. But then I think about the great things that we got to experience in our lifetime. We all got to witness the Saints go to the Super Bowl. Falcons fans never got to witness that yet. We got to witness the New Orleans Saints win a Super Bowl in our lifetime. No matter what happens going forward, we can all go to our graves saying, I got to witness the New Orleans Saints win the Super Bowl. And now, as of today, a lot of you all in Louisiana get to say, I got to see the biggest snowstorm in Louisiana history. It made me think of my mom and dad, like, wow, you know, not to age them or anything, but they're also not getting any younger. They've lived pretty half a full life so far, and they've got to experience some cool things that their moms and dads never got to experience. Like, they got to see the Saints win a Super Bowl. They got to experience one of the greatest snowstorms, the greatest snowstorm in Louisiana history. That's pretty cool. They can go to the grave saying, hey, I lived a pretty damn good life. I got to experience some things that I never would have thought possible. And I think that's pretty awesome that a lot of us, I would imagine, I got 75% Louisiana in my chat tonight. A lot of us got to experience that today, and we can say, wow, we were there for what could be the biggest Louisiana snowstorm of all time. Now, I'll tell you guys why, in lieu of what my announcement is going to be, why I hope that's not a once-in-a-lifetime snowstorm that Louisiana got today, but I'm very happy for everybody who got to experience that today. I think that is pretty dope. Hey, look, my mom's in the chat right now. I should have known, right? My mom always watches my show. My mom and dad. I didn't know if they were going to be watching the ongoing snow coverage or if they were going to tune into their son Yap for an hour and a half. But my mama said she ain't scared to show her age. I like that. My mom takes pride in her age. She's like, yep, 60 years old, 60 years young, 60 years beautiful. She was a 60-year-old kid today. She was sending me all her photos and videos. Oh, I was jealous, but I was so happy for her. And my dad and my niece and nephew, which hopefully my nephew is going to remember. I don't think my niece is going to remember because she's only 2, but she'll be able to see the photos 10 years from now and be like, damn, I got to live through that. That's awesome. That's awesome. There's somebody else that I hope gets to live with it soon. Well, not soon, but eventually. And I'll get to that again if we get over 5 super chats, which I believe we got another super chat. Hold on. I'm trying to keep up. This is where I wish I did have a full-time producer. But again, my co-host, and again, they're not my co-hosts anymore. They're now just known as my special guest. They pick and choose now, right? Like, I mean, Lord, if I go to stats, like, I think Evan only showed up for like 5 episodes this whole season. I think Ziggy showed up for like 7. Congratulations, Ziggy. You're 500, just like your New Orleans Saints. No wonder he cheers for mediocrity. Sean, I think, only showed up for like 3 episodes this season. So I shouldn't be shocked that they didn't show up for the offseason. But Pro P says, Why don't y'all have a head coach yet? We're going to get to that in a little bit. We're actually going to talk sports tonight. We're not going to just talk about life and stuff like that. We're going to talk sports. You see, even my big bro, he said, I ain't coming to talk about life. I came to talk about the. We're going to get to the Saints talk, y'all. Jeez. I mean, look, I only got what? 24 people watching on YouTube, all right? So that means if my mom and dad are watching, if my I saw Evan in the chat at one point, I saw Ziggy in the chat, I see Evan's big brother Kevin in the chat. So if half my audience is just family members, then shit, I ain't got to be in the rest of Talk Saints if my Saints audience doesn't want to show up. Probably got more damn Falcons fans than non-born Saints fans in the audience tonight. Jeez. Rushing me to talk about the sports topics. Get out of here with that. But yeah, hopefully you guys had a great snow day. And remember that this snow more than a game. All right. Jeez. You guys are so impatient. Let's talk about the New Orleans Saints coaching search, okay? Because as of January 21st, the New Orleans Saints still do not have a head coach. However, the list that we've been following remains the same. None of these coaches has been hired. There's only been 2 coaches hired so far. And that is Mike Vrabel to the Patriots, which we all saw coming, and Ben Johnson to the Bears, which I think we all saw coming. I mean, I know the Raiders had some momentum that they were going to get Ben Johnson at some point, but he wound up going to the Bears, which we all figured in October that he was going to want to go and coach Caleb Williams for the next decade or so if he's a successful head coach. So the list of candidates remains the same. Today was supposed to be the first in-person interview for Anthony Weaver and Mike Kafka, but because of the weather, they had to reschedule these interviews. Aaron Glenn met with the New York Jets today. Now, everybody assumed that Aaron Glenn was our favorite. And when he went to the Jets first instead of us, everybody was like, well, that shows where his preference is. Because if you really want to be with a team, right, you would probably get that team the first in-person interview and say, hey, I want to be with this team. I'm trying to give them the first shot at making an offer. But before I went on the air tonight, I saw a report from Adam Schefter that Aaron Glenn left the building tonight without a deal. Now, that doesn't mean that he's not going to have a deal at any point in the next 24 hours. But as of right now, 7:30 p.m. Central Time, Aaron Glenn does not have a deal with the New York Jets, which means that he is still in line to interview this week in person with the New Orleans Saints. Now, the tea leaves seem to think that Aaron Glenn is going to be the New York Jets head coach, but you never know. You never know, because I remember the day before we signed Derek Carr, the day that you all were real excited about, by the way. Y'all could try to revise history all y'all want. Y'all know y'all was excited about Derek Carr. Y'all know y'all was excited about Derek Carr. I remember there was a report saying the Jets are now the favorites to sign Derek Carr. And then less than 24 hours later, the Saints signed Derek Carr. Sometimes agents put that type of stuff out because, you know, they want a bigger offer from the competing team. So maybe all this Jets talk for Aaron Glenn was just his agent or family members or whatever trying to get the Saints to panic a little bit more and say, okay, well, we'll offer you $1 million more than whatever the Jets offers. We'll see. But the list remains of Aaron Glenn, Joe Brady, Darren Rizzi, who Alvin Kamara had a fun tweet about today. We'll get to that in a second. Kellen Moore, Cliff Kingsbury. After Saturday, Cliff Kingsbury is a hot name for sure again. Anthony Weaver, Mike Kafka, and of course, everybody's favorite, Mike McCarthy. Now, some fans might be mad that the Saints are still, we haven't even done our official first in-person interview. All of our interviews so far have been virtual, so we still got to go through, and the reports say that Mickey Loomis wants to actually meet with all of these guys and do in-person interviews. Now, will he be able to meet with Kellen Moore and Cliff Kingsbury? We'll see, given how the Commanders and Eagles are currently in the NFC Championship game, and one of these teams has to win, which means that they're going to be, one of these two are going to be very busy men in the next 3 weeks preparing for a Super Bowl game. But I'm not particularly mad at the Saints for still not having a head coach, because this is a very important hire for Mickey Loomis. I know a lot of fans are done with Mickey Loomis right now. They're done, and I get it. But in my mind, I'm trying to be a fair person. I try my best to be a fair person. Mickey Loomis is 1-1. He got the Sean Payton hire right. Greatest decision he ever made. The greatest Saints run that we've ever witnessed as a fan base. I hope that's not going to be seen as the greatest run of our lifetime, but we'll see. But then he turned right around and decided to triple down on Dennis Allen. So he's 1-1 to me. I'm trying to be fair. I can't just focus on the Dennis Allen hire and the love fest he had for Dennis Allen and ignore that he also brought us our greatest head coach of all time with Sean Payton. He's 1-1. So this is his rubber match for me. 3 strikes. All right, Mickey, this is it. You got to get this one right. Because if you do not get this one right, then I am going to be 100% on board with Mickey. You got to get out of town. So I am more than okay with him taking his time. And it doesn't seem like besides Aaron Glenn, any of these names are like names that we are at risk of losing should we continue to be patient with our head coaching search. Maybe Mike McCarthy, but the only two teams that they were talking about him being interested in was the Bears and the Saints. Well, the Bears have their head coach, so seems like Mike McCarthy, we shouldn't be like in a rush that, well, we got to hurry up. This team is going to come in and swoop Mike McCarthy. All of these names are names that we don't need to hire tomorrow to like be out on another team, maybe besides Aaron Glenn. So I'm fine with the Saints being patient. I'm very fine with that. My favorite personally remains Aaron Glenn, though I see why fans want an offensive guy. And watching those games the past weekend, it's kind of like us, you kind of like, damn, maybe we do need an offensive guy, like, because the NFL is an offensive friendly league. And every time you hire a defensive guy, if you have an offensive coordinator who's great, chances are you're not going to be able to keep him. Look at the Tampa Bay Bucks. They lost their offensive coordinator last year. They got a new great offensive coordinator, Liam Cohen. They might lose Liam Cohen to the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's two offensive coordinators they might lose in back-to-back years, because if a guy can come in and keep an offense in the top 5, chances are he's going to be a head coach, because it's an offensive-friendly league. We see Ben Johnson, right? Why he was the most hyped-up prospect, because offense wins games in the NFL. Don't get me wrong, defense is very important, but the offense is a lot more critical than the defense in the 2025 NFL, which is why I understand why some fans are like, look, Aaron Glenn seems like a good coach, but we need an offensive-minded guy. So a lot of fans, especially after last weekend, are really all in on Joe Brady, and he has the pedigree, right? I mean, he was one of the top 2 brains behind that elite LSU offense in 2019. He was on the Saints staff for a year and a half. He went to Carolina and flamed out. Then he rebounded in Buffalo right now with Josh Allen, and he's making Josh Allen look great. Or is Josh Allen making him look great? Because I'm like, okay, well, you can look good with Joe Burrow at LSU. You can look good with Drew Brees in New Orleans. You can look good with Josh Allen in Buffalo. But when he went to Carolina and had Teddy Bridgewater, man, that Panthers offense was shitty. So it's like, okay, I personally would like to see an offensive coordinator get the most out of a quarterback. Joe Brady failed the Carolina test. Like Teddy Bridgewater, obviously, of Drew Brees, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen is number 4 on that list of how would you rank them, man. It's not a surprise that the one time that he did not have an elite quarterback, he failed miserably in Carolina. So I'm not trying to hold that against him. I'm not saying, because he failed in Carolina as an offensive coordinator, that means he's never going to be a great head coach. I'm just saying it gives me moments to pause and say, is Joe Brady really that guy? Or is it just Josh Allen can have me out as a coordinator and the Bills will be great? It's Josh Allen, right? So that'll be interesting. But I would see why fans would get excited. I would get excited if it was Joe Brady. I feel like he has the lowest floor, which means that if, we hire him, I think he has the highest chance to really fall on his face and fail. But I also think that his ceiling is untapped potential. And like I said last week, it's that mystery box, right? Like, we know what Mike McCarthy brings. We know what Mike McCarthy is. But what's in that mystery box? Joe Brady's that mystery box. Could he be the next great offensive mind? Could he be the next Sean Payton? Could he be the next Sean McVay? It's that mystery box that always gets you, which is why there's going to be a lot more hype and buzz. And if he is named the coach, excitement over Joe Brady than it would be with Mike McCarthy, who's a damn good coach. I would be fine with Mike McCarthy. Would I be excited about Mike McCarthy? No, because again, I know what I'm getting with Mike McCarthy. But the mystery box, I don't know what I'm getting. Sean Payton was a mystery box in 2006. We didn't know who Sean Payton was. So we were like, oh, this is intriguing. I'll be honest, I didn't like the hire, but a lot of fans I remember were like, okay, let's see what this kid has. He's new. It's not a retread as a head coach. Dennis Allen was a retread as a head coach. A failing head coach at that. So he wasn't no damn mystery box. We knew who Dennis Allen was. We just hyped ourselves up to say, oh, man, we got the talent. We got the continuity. Dennis Allen's going to be great with us. Man, we see how that turned out. I'm not going to be mad, y'all, whoever we hire. I'm not. If they got hire Anthony Weaver, for all I care, Dolphins defensive coordinator, I would not be mad at that. I'm going to give every guy a chance because they're all coming to New Orleans. They're all going to embrace our city. They're all going to be putting on that damn black and gold. And if you are having black and gold laundry, then John O'Barnes is a goddamn fan of you. So whoever it is, I'm not going to be like, Mickey Loomis, you screwed this up. There's going to be some that I'm more excited about than others, but I'm going to be perfectly honest with you guys. Like I just said earlier, I was not a Sean Payton fan when we hired him. I didn't know who Sean Payton was. There was Mike Moss. I actually wanted the retread coach over the mystery box, Mike Moss. the coach of the greatest show on turf. He was available, if y'all remember, if you're old enough to remember. I was like, what in the hell are we doing? We got Mike Moss available. Why are we going with this unknown offensive coordinator when Mike freaking Moss, Super Bowl head coach, is right there for the taking? We saw how that turned out. And then when we had the 2021 head coaching search, which we all knew was just a facade because we all knew Dennis Allen was going to be that guy. But there were some candidates that were unique, like Aaron Glenn. And we all knew what the retread coach in Dennis Allen was, but we chose the retread coach. So I guess that might motivate me to say, you know what? Give me one of the mystery box coaches. Give me a Joe Brady. Give me a Mike Kafka even. I know the Giants weren't hot this year, but give me a Mike Kafka. Who knows? Because sometimes that mystery box can lead you to some great things. Or sometimes that mystery box is a lump of coal. That's the games you play when you hire a head coach. The good thing is it's not our decision. We can all get on the screen. We can all talk on our phones. We can all get on social media and yap about, oh, this is the guy for sure who's going to be our next head coach or who's going to be the next great Saints head coach. We don't know shit. Let's be honest. We're fans. I embrace it. Fans get mad at me when I point that out on social media. They got too much pride. Oh, what you mean I'm stupid? What you mean I'm a hypocrite? Oh, I'm not a hypocrite. Embrace it. You're a fan. This isn't politics. This ain't life or death. It's a goddamn football game. I was wrong about Sean Payton. I was wrong about Drew Brees. I wanted Vince Shaw and Matt Leinart in the draft. I said, we got the number 2 pick. Why are we signing a quarterback for $65 million with good Lord have mercy? Was that a discount for Drew Brees, huh? Drew Brees for $65 million. Good Lord have mercy. Was that a discount? I was like, why? And Ziggy and my friends can tell you, even Sean, if he ever shows up on the show again. I was like, why are we signing a quarterback who is coming off a torn shoulder, by the way, for $65 million when we can draft Vince Shaw or Matt Leinart on a rookie contract? Boy, was I bad that offseason, right? I was mad at the Sean Payton hire and I was mad at the Drew Brees signing. We are fans who don't know shit, is all I'm saying. I get on the screen and I yell and all that stuff, but I can also embrace that. God damn it, there's a lot of times where I have some stupid ass takes. So when it comes to the head coaching search, I know my history. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to let it play out. Whoever it is, I hope Mickey gets it right. I'm not going to judge Mickey on the day of the hiring. I'll judge Mickey accordingly to how whatever the head coach does. I do think whoever is the head coach, we need to exercise patience because this team is not a year away. I get it as an NFL that last year the Commanders were 4-13, and now they are 1 game away from the Super Bowl. That's what makes you as a fan have so much hope. That's what brings you back as a fan every single year. We were that team in 2006. We were 3-13 in 2006. In 2005, 2006, we were goddamn 2 quarters away from being the Chicago Bears to go to the Super Bowl. That's how fast your life, your fortune can change in the NFL. Granted, usually you got to find an elite quarterback. We found Drew Brees. The Commanders finally hit on the draft pick with Jayden Daniels. But it's that hope that always brings you back. But it's not always going to be like that. More often than not, you're going to be one of the teams that kind of got to get it out the mud for a year or so. So whoever we hire, whether it's Mike McCarthy, whether it's Mike Kafka, whether it's Joe Brady, whether it is Aaron Glenn, hell, even if it's Darren Rizzi, who I'm still mad at for that Mike Evans play. But even if it is Darren Rizzi, I feel like we should give that head coach a minimum of 2 seasons to get it right. So for me, that 3rd year is the crucial year. Like, okay, by 2028, how are my New Orleans Saints looking? I can accept a bad Saints team in 2025. In 2026, excuse me, I said 2028, 2027. I can accept the bad Saints team in 2025 and 2026, given how bad of a predicament we are in right now. I pray to God that we are the next Commanders and that we have that 1-year turnaround next year and suddenly win an NFC Championship game. And I'm talking about the NFC Championship preview next season on the John O'Barnes Show. But I'm probably going to be talking about, okay, we got a top 10 pick again, because I know where my state of the franchise of my team is right now. But I hope the fans are willing to be patient. Willing to admit, you know what? I don't know everything. I don't know if Joe Brady is better than Aaron Glenn. I don't know if Mike McCarthy is going to be horrible here. I don't know if Darren Rizzi, with a chance to be the main guy himself, is going to be a failure. I don't know. I just hope that you guys realize that too. And you exercise patience, because this is not a head coach like Dennis Allen, who is coming into a win-now team and fumbling it. This is a head coach who is coming into an organization who has a lot of talent problems, who has a lot of cap space problems, and who has a draft pick problem that they need to get together. And that's probably not going to take 1 off season. So I hope you guys are patient with that. I see you guys talking in the chat. I'm sorry that I'm a one-man show, so it's hard for me to ramble while trying to keep up with the chat, but I'm pretty sure you guys are letting your opinions know. I do let you guys notice after the show, I always go back and I watch the show and I read the chat, every single one. So there are some times where I see some funny chats or some informative chats, and I'm like, damn, I missed that chat. That's on me. So I apologize for that. Again, one day I'll get an actual full-time, I say I got a super chat. You know, I just got to do the announcement now. I got to do the announcement now. Too many people know. I had the stupid thing that my YouTube audience is different from my Twitter and Instagram audience, but I forget that. I'm stupid that a lot of the audience is blending. So we don't got to wait till we get 5 super chats. We'll do it now. Here's what I'll do. I will leave a word from one of our sponsors, and when I come back, I will give you guys who hasn't heard the news yet, special announcement. No matter what, we all know that this shit more than a game, and now you can wear it with pride. Visit www.jonobarnes.com or thisshitmorethanagame.com and buy your This Shit More Than a Game shirt now for the low price of $28.03. You can buy it in black and gold, purple and gold, white and blue, red and navy blue, all types of colors. We've got you covered here on the Jono Barnes Show. So visit www.jonobarnes.com or thisshitmorethanagame.com and buy your This Shit More Than a Game shirt now and let the world know, folks, this shit more than a game. All right. So before we get back to our sports talk, I do have a special announcement that I want to make, and I appreciate the people who left super chats, and I've seen some people also leave regular chats. So some people already know the news, but I have a very busy off season ahead of me, guys. No, not scouting draft prospects, not reading up on whoever we hire as our next head coach and seeing what his philosophies are, what type of plays he calls, all that good stuff. No, ladies and gentlemen, drum roll. If I had Ziggy on the show, I'll do a drum roll. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be a dad. I am happy to announce that on June 1st, 2025, Jono Barnes Jr. will be coming into this world. Basically, what I am saying is, ladies and gentlemen, this shit more than a pregnancy. I am trading in my This Shit More Than a Game shirt for my daddy shirt, which I guess means that I'm going to be pivoting to family content going forward, right? Nah, you guys are going to get the same type of content. Maybe with a screaming baby in the background now, but you guys are still going to get that This Shit More Than a Game energy. But yes, I'm very happy to announce that Jono Barnes Jr. is coming into this world on June 1st, maybe earlier. You never know with babies. And I know if my baby takes after his daddy, he's pretty stubborn. He might say, nah, y'all don't tell me what to do. Y'all say June 1st. Well, guess what? I'm coming out May 27th. We'll see. But June 1st is the due date, and there is going to be a little bit of a different brand, I guess, for Jono Barnes, because now it's going to be Jono Barnes, the dad. And there's going to be a little Jono running around. Can y'all believe that? There's going to be 2 Jonos in this world now. I don't think the Falcons fans can handle that. I actually think a cold sweat just broke out of all Falcons fans' faces right now. And they're like, oh, shit, another Jono? Another Jono's coming? That's right, Falcons fans. Y'all thought y'all was going to get off easy, huh? See, Lord willing, I make it another 40, 50 years on life. But when I'm gone, y'all think y'all going to get rid of me? Nah, because little Jono is going to just take the torch and keep carrying that This Shit More Than a Game energy. Actually, if y'all look a little closer, I know my eyesight is a little bad, but if y'all look a little closer, well, would you look at that? Man, would you look at that? My baby is already This Shit More Than a Game certified. Wow. Wow, isn't science so advanced in 2025? Good Lord have mercy. My baby must be the earliest person ever who is this shit more than the game certified. That's my kid, boy. I swear, that's my kid. He's already this shit more than the game certified. I'm very excited, you guys. I know what you guys are thinking. Good Lord have mercy. She actually conceived with that guy? It's one thing to marry, Jono, right? But to actually want to conceive with that guy, I know. Shout out to our marriage therapist. She works wonders. But no, truly, I'm very, very excited. I might not even be the most excited. I think my mom's the most excited out of everybody. We got some very excited grandparents, very excited family members. I see all the great comments in the chat, so I appreciate Zeke. I see you. I'm gonna get to your super chats easy. Yeah, so I know I usually say like I invest all my super chats back into the show. I ain't gonna even lie. Every super chat now is probably going to Lil Jono. Okay, I'm joking. But I will probably post my wedding in our baby registry if you guys want to help us out. Like we ain't rich, all right? Like how many people we got on YouTube right now? 34. Okay, that's actually more than we had earlier. I guess everybody is excited for the baby announcement. But we ain't rolling in the door, okay? Y'all saw all them rich people on stage with Trump on Monday. You ain't see Jonah Bones on that stage. All right, I'll take every dollar that I can get. But I appreciate you guys, even to you Falcons fans. I'm sure you guys are gonna have a lot of fun with it. I know my kid. I'm gonna definitely try my best. I'm not gonna like force it on him. But he's already this shit more than the game certified, so I don't think it's gonna be hard for me to. I'm definitely gonna try to, make him be one of the greatest Saints fans of all time. That does mean, guys, though, obviously, my life is about to change. My life is about to change big time. So it might not be where I can come on the show so freely every Tuesday. It might be where you guys are gonna have to get next season the Jono Bones show where I can fit it in. I'm gonna still try my best. And that's my promise to you guys. And shout out to my wife. I see her in the chat right now. I'm always appreciative that my wife shares me with you guys. I mean, that sounds simple, but no, a lot of women or even husbands, depending on who's the content creator in the family, can be like, nah, man, your time needs to be devoted to me or whatever. My wife has never flinched when me sacrificing a lot of what could be our personal time together to work on my content and try to entertain you guys and build a community here. So, I appreciate her from the bottom of my heart, but obviously with a baby now, it's not about what my wife wants. It's about what the goddamn kid wants. And Lil Jono might be like, nah, Dad, on a random October Tuesday night, my kid gonna be like, nah, you ain't doing no show tonight, Dad. You gotta come and take care of me. I'm crying. My nose hurts. You're gonna be a daddy tonight. So I'm gonna try my best next season and throughout the whole off season. I'm gonna still try whenever I can fit it in because I really love doing this. When I got 3 people watching, but I got 3,000 people watching. I really love doing this show. I really love doing my content. I'm not going to stop, but obviously I can't be as available or as, assuredly available as I have been the past 4 seasons now, right? Damn, have I been doing it for 4 seasons? 4 seasons of doing content because I got a whole another human being to take care of now. So, but I'm not going to be doing family. All right, it's not going to turn into a mom and dad type channel. We might do some fun with the baby. All right, I'm not going to have my baby like front and center for the content. Wait for him to be old enough to see if he is cool with being in front of a camera or whatnot. But I mean, I'm sure I'll have fun with the element of being a father now and things like that. And I'm definitely going to share as much as I can with you guys. I mean, somebody left a cool comment when I announced it on social media Monday. I believe it was on Instagram saying. And these are like the moments that make me go, wow, I already have that much of an impact on people. But they were like, man, Jono, I feel like I've grown up with you and Clarissa. And I'm like, damn, really? yeah, some people really feel like that. But, some people really have followed me or like started following me the first year I was doing content. And I wasn't even married to Clarissa at that point. So like they've seen me get married with Clarissa. And now they're seeing me have a baby with Clarissa. And they seem more excited than me. I was like, damn, but that's awesome. Like people really... it's more than a community, right? This shit more than a community. So I'm definitely going to share updates with you guys. I might even bring my wife on the show. I mean, Lord knows we ain't got Ziggy or Evan or Sean on the show anymore, right? So I actually might bring the people, the person that you guys really want on the show, right? I should have probably had Clarissa as my co-host the past 2 seasons all alone. But I might actually bring Clarissa on the show in the next week or so because I know you guys have to be wondering, Clarissa, what in the hell were you thinking? I know, yeah, that's what my marriage therapist said. She was like, really? You sure? But I appreciate all the comments, man. I got over 200 comments on on Twitter, over 100 comments on Instagram, and I usually take pride in like commenting back on every single post whenever people like hit me up, because I'm like, I'm not gonna act like I'm too big to ignore people who take the time to watch my content or engage with me. But I was like, I can't keep up. I was like, and I was like, I don't want to make people feel like bad if I respond to some people and not others. So I just said, I'm not going to respond to anybody. You know, I made the announcement, put my phone down, came back to the phone. I had like 70 plus comments already on both apps. I was like, good Lord. I said, there's no way. There's no way. I said, that's going to be a whole day activity trying to respond back. Thank you to everybody. So I hope everybody who was watching, who already commented on Twitter, Instagram, know that we did, though, go through every single reply, and on Facebook, by the way, too. Every single reply. Some of them made us laugh. Some of them made us cry. Some of them made us smile. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Like I say about life experiences when it comes to the snow. People look at social media from a negative point of view, and I understand why. But I mean, the past 4 years of what social media has done for me has been incredible. So stuff like that always shows me why social media is a gift and not a curse. Carl says this shit more than the conception. I was wondering when I did the pregnancy, we went with this shit more than the pregnancy, but I was thinking about it again, because I think about these type of things. I say, well, do I go with this baby more than the game? Do I go with this shit more than the baby? But then I was like, well, do I want to put shit with baby together? I said, you know, I'm gonna just go with this shit more than the pregnancy. But when the baby actually comes, I don't know. I got to think about, do I want to go with this baby more than the game or what? But I appreciate you guys, truly. I'm trying to keep up with the comments. Bruce saying, yeah, you're right. Clarissa as a co-host would be sick. Sandra, you're always the sweetest. You and Sonia saying you guys are going to be great parents. Thank you. I know she is. We'll see about me. We'll see about me. Jerry says Jono Jr. is going to be saying F the Falcons. You're damn right he will. That's one word out. That's one time I'll allow him to say the F word. I know my wife's going to roll her eyes at me, but all right, let me get to the super chats. Hold on. I see we got some super chats, and I appreciate that. My guy Easy E. He made it easy. If you're still watching, you made me pull this announcement up earlier. On my script, I had the announcement all the way at the end of the show, but I saw you put congratulations on Baby John. So I say, well, I might as well announce it now. I appreciate you, Easy E. Easy E also leaves another $5 super chat if I can find it. And he says, oh, you was quote unquote scouting, all right? If you know, you know. Give that boy some time before you make him a Saints fan. Yeah, watching the Saints and Pelicans, sometimes I'm like, would it be child abuse if I try to make my son a Saints and Pelicans fan? Like, that's a serious question. Would it be child abuse if I say, no, you're going to be a Saints and Pelicans fan? You know, I don't want to be known as a bad father. My wife, well, I see my wife in the chat. My mom says, yay, Baby John. This is a very subdued version of my mama, because our initial reaction was way more. It was like maybe 50 exclamation points, but in actual human expression. Love you, Mom. Hurricane Mike says, congrats on having another son. I'm sure him and the Falcons, oh yeah, they definitely gonna get along great. Oh, I know they're gonna get along great. Mick says, I'm gonna start making a homemade baby recipe video. If you're true to the General Bones channel and not new to the General Bones channel, when I first started, it really started because it was a video of me giving my wife our dog Shady. And that video still to this day has like 300,000 views. Maybe I put the wrong path. Right? I should have stayed with the French Bulldog videos, because I said, well, shit, if it's that easy to get 300,000 views, I said, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. And the first videos I was doing was videos about my dog. And so I'm sure people who subscribe thinking that this was a channel about a French Bulldog are very confused right now when they see a guy yelling into the camera, this shit more than the game. So it would be a pretty easy pivot, actually, Mick, if I go back to family-friendly content. But I'm gonna try in my unique way to blend in fatherhood with the this shit more than a game lifestyle. My mama says, congratulations. She is definitely more than a Gigi. She's the greatest mom and greatest grandmother of all time. I see all the chats, guys. I promise, and I promise I will. Look, man, I even got Falcons fans saying congrats. I appreciate y'all. Truly, I do. I always feel awkward when I make announcements like this, because like I'm not the type to leave people happy birthday when they have happy birthdays on social media, because I mean, it's just not my thing. So I always feel bad like when people are always telling me happy birthday when my name comes up on the birthday notification, or when I have an announcement and everybody's saying congrats, and I'm like, I feel obligated to respond to everybody. But I hope y'all know, because I'm only human. I can't get to every comment or like or whatever. We appreciate it. Me and my wife, we truly appreciate it. All right, let's see. I'm gonna get to this shit more than that game bootleg air horns in a minute, I promise. Uptown made me 504 says, Let's go. Congratulations. This shit more than a bird. I actually like this shit more than a bird. Not that I said it out loud. That might be the caption I use when Jono Jr. decides to grace us with his presence this summer. So Uptown, if I use that caption, I owe you a finder's fee. Okay. Uptown Made Me leaves another super chat. So we wind up getting our 5 super chats all alone. He says his truck got shut down today and he finally was able to catch a live, and it was a special one. Yeah. I like that, Uptown. Yeah, you see, you need to tune in every weekend. That means it'll be a special episode. Thank you, Uptown Made Me 504. Thank you to everybody. Truly, me, my wife, hell, all of my family. We appreciate what you guys have done to make little old Jono this local comedian, by the way. I'll get to that in a little bit. Local superstar. Not that I'm a superstar or anything, but I'm very excited. We're going to have a lot of fun with the baby. We're going to not go full throttle with baby content, but we will have fun. And this shit more than a game way to, have fun. That, hey, we're going to be parents. And I'm sure Lil Jono can watch this in 10 years, 15 years and be like, wow, my dad talks a lot. But he also is going to see all these comments from you, Uptown Made Me, and from Sandra and Sonia, from Pro P, from my guy Easy. He's going to see all these comments and be like, oh, man, wow, my dad knew some pretty cool people. So I appreciate you guys. Slim Salt, I see you. Sam, I see you. Yeah. This shit more than a pregnancy. Here's a gift just for you for being a fan. Are you going to a sports game or a concert or any major event? Well, buy your tickets from SeatGeek and use the promo code JONO at checkout, and you can receive $20 off your purchase over $50. That's $20 off your purchase. What are you waiting for? You know this shit more than a game, man. You know, it was also a good day because not only did we have the Bayou Blizzard, I guess is what the formal name is that some of the local media is calling. But Alvin Kamara put out a funny tweet. He said that, all right, going back to the Saints head coaching search update, my vote for head coach rhymes with fizzy. I wonder who he's talking about. So I responded because I was just being funny. I said, well, what does your vote for quarterback rhyme with? Because I'm trying to see something. And mind you, y'all, that wasn't me just trying to like get him to take a dig at Derek Carr or anything like that. I was just having fun. Like I told a fine line on social media with serious tweets and just being silly. I was in the snow. I said, haha, that's a funny tweet by Kamara. I'll have fun with it too. And Alvin actually responded and said, Palvin Namera. I believe I took that screenshot when it first happened. So I think that tweet now has like 300 retweets or whatever. I mean, my mentions have been blowing up from him responding to me today, which I thought was real funny. Then he also came back with, not to me, or was it? He says, I don't really speak too much about football during the off season, but it'd be funny hearing you guys talking about the fans think a coach should get a job or not. I feel like I just said that. But then again, the last time some of y'all played organized anything was last night on 2K. Can't even get your best friends to pass you guys the ball at the park. The wife is mad at hell. You yelling on the game all night. I was like, damn, Alvin, that does kind of sound like about me. Nah, he was just going off in general on the fans. Actually, Kamara DM'd me. I ain't gonna give away that, but fingers crossed, y'all. Fingers crossed. I was like, damn, about time Alvin Kamara notices me and acknowledges me. But all that to say, Kamara seems to be all in on Darren Rizzi as the head coach. Let me know in the comments, what do you guys think about Rizzi possibly being the head coach? I saw Cam Jordan quote tweeted Alvin and felt like he was co-signing it, which doesn't surprise me. I called this in November. I say usually whenever a coach gets fired and an interim comes in, he's probably going to win over the locker room, and you almost are getting backed into a corner where you got to hire him. We saw it last year with the Raiders with Antonio Pierce, right? We saw how that went. More often than not, an interim head coach becoming the eventual permanent head coach fails. But, I mean, you got to take into account what the players want. So do you guys think Loomis should be like, well, I got to give Darren Rizzi an edge that my biggest superstar is saying that he wants Rizzi on the team, or do y'all think that the players are going to get over it if it's Rizzi or not? Again, I wouldn't be too excited about Rizzi. I'm probably still a little spurned with how he let Mike Evans get his little make-a-wish ass 1,000 yards, but I do think it says something that the players are openly now and publicly advocating for Darren and Rizzi to get the job. A funny anecdote, by the way, from that though is Fox 8 in the middle of their snow coverage picked up on Alvin Kamara's tweet, and as you guys can see, they mentioned little old me, and they called me local comedian. Now, I know that usually every 48 hours, my wife reiterates some type of phrase saying, "Oh, you think your ass funny, huh?" But I don't know if I would call myself a local comedian. I don't think I would call myself a comedian. I feel like to be a comedian, you got to be able to do stand-up. And I am not a stand-up comic in any way, shape, or form. I usually prefer, if they need a title to go before my name, to call me an entertainer, even though I know entertainment is very subjective, but I would not call myself a comedian. But I did get a good laugh out of me making it yet again to the local news, and Fox 8, who I'm great friends with. I've been on Fox 8 many times, and I will be on Fox 8 in the future, calling me a local comedian. So the important thing to take away from this episode tonight, guys, it's not that I'm going to be a dad. It's not that Alvin Kamara wants Darren and Rizzi. It's that John O'Barnes is a local comedian, which, hey, maybe that means we should do a This Shit More Than a Tour, stand-up comedy tour, huh? I mean, shit, if they're going to recognize me as a local comedian, I might as well take advantage, huh? I don't know. Would y'all go see John O'Barnes do stand-up comedy? I'm an entertainer, y'all. I'm not a comedian, but I appreciate the shout out, Fox 8. Let's keep it sports and talk about our New Orleans Pelicans 4-game win streak. New Orleans Pelicans. Now that puts the Pelicans in a very peculiar situation, kind of like what the Saints were in 2 seasons ago, because it's the worst spot I feel like you can be in as a franchise. Even though, according to Jeff Schwartz, the worst spot you can be in is the Steelers, where you make the playoffs every year. But no, I think the worst spot to be in as a franchise is when you're not good enough to make the playoffs, but you're not bad enough to get a top pick. Because of mainly injury, but I feel like a lot of other factors, the Pelicans, it is going to take a miracle. It is going to take a miracle for the Pelicans to make the NBA playoffs, even the play-in at this point. I mean, we are 12-32, and that's with a 4-game win streak, and we're still a bottom 14. This is the current NBA draft lottery odds. Before the 4-game win streak, we were actually number 2. We had the number 2 best chance of getting the number 1 pick. Now we've gone up to number 4. And the way the Pelicans are playing, especially with Zion back healthy, we might continue to win enough games where we're not going to finish in the top 4. And if everybody knows how the NBA draft lottery works, in order to prevent teams from outright tanking, even though the Jazz are clearly tanking. That's the reason why we're in a 4-game win streak, by the way. We played the Jazz back-to-back the past 2 games, and those guys are purposely trying to lose, which some fans are saying is actually smart. That's what we're about to debate. The Pelicans are liable to maybe win enough games where maybe they finish bottom 10, but bottom 10 ain't going to get you to the playoffs. So it brings up a dilemma. Should the Pelicans tank? We had the same conversation about the Saints in 2023 because we went 9-8, right? We won 9 games. Guess what? 9 wins was not enough to make the playoffs, and we didn't get a good draft pick. And I said all season long, I was like, God damn, this is not the worst spot to be in as a franchise. I'm like, God damn, we ain't got no hope in the top 5, top 10 pick, and we ain't even make the goddamn playoffs. That's what the Pelicans are doing right now. Mind you, this is year 6. This is year 6 of the Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, David Griffin era, which I'm fed up with. Y'all know my opinion by now about the Zion Williamson era. I'm fed up with it. So if you ask me, I feel like if we continue to play Zion and all these guys and try to win, I feel like when healthy, we are at worst a 500 team. So I feel like that's really going to mess with our lottery chances, which thus means we're not going to get a lottery pick and we're not going to make the playoffs. So I'm okay. I'm okay with fans who are like, God damn it, Pelicans. It caused a bit of a debate on social media this past weekend and going into today. There's going to be a debate probably for the rest of the season. I want to know what you guys think. I'm actually going to follow the chat on this one. Do you guys think the Pelicans should tank? Or do you guys think the Pelicans should be like, hey, I mean, we're not going to just like tell the players in January, hey, sorry, we're going to start sending you guys out maybe every 3 games because we got to get this number 1 pick. Like the players don't give a damn about a top pick. They playing for their incentives. Like Ziggy always said, they playing for all-star nominations. They're playing to get their name out there for a bigger contract down the line. But what say you as a fan? I wouldn't mind the Pelicans tank. I know they're not going to do it, but I wouldn't mind. The Utah Jazz, who we played the past 2 games, they are openly tanking. The Utah Jazz, the past 2 games against us, sat like their 4 best players because they were like, we ain't got no business trying to win the game against the New Orleans Pelicans, where we are competing right now with the Pelicans for that top 4 spot in the draft. And mind you, this is a very good draft this year, a very good draft. Cooper Flagg is the big name. That's the name that everybody wants, Cooper Flagg at Duke. But they got some other draft prospects in the top 4 who could be real game changers. So I'm all in on the draft. I'm like, well, shit. It's unfortunate that injuries is like a huge reason why we aren't a contender this year, but the basketball guys made this bid. I hope the Pelicans decide to lay in it and not step out and say, we're still going to fight hard, because New Orleans deserves a fighting team. They deserve us to win 25 games instead of 16 games. So we'll see. I mean, I think we should trade CJ McCollum while his stock value is high right now. CJ score is averaging like 35 points per game the last 4 games. We're playing bad teams, by the way, too. Don't let that 4-game win streak confuse you guys. We played the Jazz, who are purposely trying to lose. Like, literally, the Jazz are trying to lose games. We played the Mavericks without Luka and Kyrie. So, we beat the Mavericks without their 2 best players. And we played the Chicago Bulls, who y'all see on this standings list. They ain't that hot themselves. They lost 5 straight. So it's not like we're beating the Nuggets and the Bucks and the Thunder and the Cavs. No, we're beating bad teams right now. We got the Bucks tomorrow. We'll see just how legit this team actually is when we're not playing teams that are trying to actively lose. But CJ's playing out of his mind right now. And I'm like, okay, learn from your neighbor. Learn from the New Orleans Saints. Y'all see how we're kind of in this pickle right now with DeMario and Cam and Tyron, where they're old and their timelines don't fit with our timeline of rebuilding. Same with CJ. CJ, in my opinion, should be traded to a team that actually has a shot to win, because all he's doing is helping us win games that we have no business winning, and he's going to mess up our draft pick, and we get nothing out of it. I'd rather get something out of CJ and let him have a chance to contend than to keep CJ and have him win games for us that really does something for us long term. He's a great leader, don't get me wrong. I love CJ. CJ's been amazing for the city and for the team. I'm not saying willy-nilly trade CJ because he's a bad player or anything like that. I'm just saying his timeline does not fit with our timeline. And we got to make tough business decisions sometimes, man. That's what's failing the Saints. Always thinking, we're close, y'all. We're close. Keep competing. I mean, I get it. I'm not saying I'm expecting the team on both sides, the Saints or the Pelicans, to like actively try to lose games like the Utah Jazz are doing. But damn, sometimes you got to make some business decisions and be like, look, we don't need CJ right now. His timeline does not fit our timeline. We damn sure don't need Brandon Ingram right now, especially with his contract up. We got to try to get something for Brandon Ingram. I need the Pelicans to hopefully try to make some tough decisions that the New Orleans Saints were afraid to make. These next few weeks before the trade deadline is going to be very telling to me on how David Griffin is actually as a general manager. Well, he's not the general manager. He's the president of basketball operations. It's going to be very telling. It's going to be very telling, because I do not want to be in this land of mediocrity where the Pelicans are not good enough to get into the play-in, but not even bad enough to get a top pick. I want that top pick, to be honest. I'm not going to chastise them in January for winning games. But if it's March and we are for sure not making the playoffs, boy, I'll be pissed if David Griffin doesn't put his foot down and say, we're about to do a Utah Jazz and start trying to, I guess the term in NBA circles want to be actively lose games, but try their hardest to not actively win games as much as they were doing in the fall. So let me see if you guys are even talking about this. I know basketball isn't my main source of audience on this channel. So let me see, are you guys even talking about it? Are you guys on your own little world in the chat right now? Trash talking Falcons fans. Seems like you guys are just in your own world. Which I love. I love Saints fans and Falcons fans going into it. Slim South says the problem is Mickey Loomis. Well, Mickey Loomis has no connection with the Pelicans besides just kind of like a title, but it's all David Griffin, so he's the one. Unless he was you were talking about something else, Slim South. Goddamn, none of y'all were talking about. I mean, goddamn, y'all just had me ramble. Nobody was giving me any feedback about the Pelicans. Again, I know this is mainly a football audience, but sheesh. You guys are crazy, man. You guys are crazy. See, I'm going to just talk about the baby for the rest of the show. You guys don't want to talk sports tonight. Y'all just want to talk about The baby. Okay, let's talk about the baby. What should we name the baby, y'all? What should we name the baby? Should we name the baby The Problem is Mickey Loomis? I mean, maybe y'all think that Jono Jr. Like, nah, Jono, you're special, Jono. There should only be one Jono in life. Maybe you should name the kid Drew Brees Bonds. I wouldn't be opposed to that. Let me know what we should name the kid. While y'all think about that, or while y'all continue to argue in the chat, it really is, Jerry, huh? It really is after Falcons, huh? Y'all don't care about anything about the snow. Y'all don't care about the coaching search. Y'all just care about talking shit to each other. This is a really good week for New Orleans, by the way, y'all, because not only did we get this historic snow, but if y'all did not see the news, it seems like the tea leaves are saying that Wrestlemania is returning to New Orleans. The headline is wrong. It should say in 2026. But that's a horrible headline. They got the year on it. WrestleMania 42 in 2026, not in 2024. 2024 was last year. It's not even 2025. WrestleMania 42 in 2026. New Orleans is the favorite to host another WrestleMania, which would be freaking awesome. I know some of you guys are wrestling fans like me, so I'm just giving y'all that heads up right now. If WrestleMania does come to New Orleans next year, y'all better get ready to learn wrestling, buddy, if you're not a wrestling fan, because I will be doing a lot of wrestling content when it comes to New Orleans if the WrestleMania rumors are true, which I really hope they are. It seems like very strongly WrestleMania is going to be in New Orleans, which is awesome. Have the Super Bowl this year, WrestleMania next year. You can't ask for anything better as a event host city. I'm already going to start saying a prayer to the wrestling gods that Stone Cold somehow finds his way to New Orleans. We've had 2 WrestleManias in New Orleans already. At WrestleMania 30, I got to see Stone Cold in the ring for an interview with The Rock and Hulk Hogan, which is pretty damn awesome. The 3 biggest names in wrestling history. For WrestleMania 34, I got to meet Stone Cold. So hopefully Stone Cold keeps his WrestleMania New Orleans appearance tradition alive next year at WrestleMania 42. And whatever he wants to do, whether he's a special referee, whether he's an announcer, whether he's just doing autograph signings. I hope I get to meet my dog again. All right, Steve, come to New Orleans for your boy. But I'm excited about that. Hopefully you guys are excited about WrestleMania coming to the greatest city in the world next year. And if it does come to New Orleans, get ready to learn some goddamn wrestling, y'all, because I will be doing some wrestling content. And let me tell y'all, the wrestling fans are legit. Like these wrestling, I've asked myself often, I'm like, man, I probably should have went all in on the wrestling content. Like these wrestling fans are passionate. These wrestling fans, boy, I could do a wrestling video tomorrow and I'll probably get 50,000 views. I could go to WrestleMania. I could go to SmackDown. I believe it's in New Orleans in 2 weeks. I guarantee you that video would get a guaranteed 75,000. Like wrestling fans flock to any and every wrestling content they can see, whether they know who you are or not. I made a lot of money. The most money I made on YouTube was when I went to WrestleMania in Dallas. And boy, them wrestling fans, they had my wallet looking nice. And I'm like, God damn, I love you Saints fans. I love you sports fans in general. But I'm like, maybe I need to do this wrestling shit full time. Them wrestling fans don't play. This shit more than the game to wrestling fans. So I will be doing WrestleMania content next year. But I'm also going to be a dad too. So we'll see how all this works out. You can't plan, but you can at least strategize. All right, so let's see what else we got before we wrap up the show tonight. These shows go a lot faster when I ain't gotta listen to Ziggy Evan or Sean out. Oh, of course, the main actually topic of the show. I made the thumbnail. The conference championship picks. We got the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Washington Commanders. Who would have thought, huh? Boy, if anybody would have told you in August that the Commanders were going to be an NFC Championship game, that would have been a goddamn lie. The Commanders are in an NFC Championship game. That's how beautiful football is, man. You just never know. One year you could be picking top 3 in the draft. The next year you could be in the NFC Championship game. That's what I love about the NFC, by the way, y'all. Since 2010, every team has made it to the conference championship except the Dallas Cowboys. With the Commanders making an NFC Championship game this week, the Cowboys are now the only team who has not made the NFC Championship game since 2010. In fact, they didn't even make the championship game in the 2000s. The last time the Cowboys made the championship game was 1995, which is now the longest drought in the NFL for a conference championship appearance. what I love about the NFC is that it always feels like every year there's a come from out of nowhere team. Like the NFL, the NFC Championship is never the same two teams, right? Like we had Kansas City and Buffalo 2 years ago. We have Kansas City for the past 7 years now. Before the Kansas City Chiefs, we had the Patriots and Tom Brady for the past 8 years. So that's 15 years in a row now that we've had either the Chiefs or the Patriots in the AFC Championship game. The NFC, every year is a team that you wouldn't expect. Oh, it's just a different matchup. It's not always like there's this dynasty in the NFC, which I appreciate. Like as bad as we are Saints fans, as much as we harp about how bad our history is as a franchise, at least we can say that when it comes to dynasties, the past 2 decades, it's been the Chiefs and the Patriots, 2 AFC teams that we have no association with whatsoever. So I can watch Patrick Mahomes win a possible 4th championship in February in New Orleans, and I won't give a damn. I'll be like, well, shit, he ain't an NFC South team. He ain't even an NFC team. Why would I give a damn if Patrick Mahomes wins a 4th ring? I watched Tom Brady before he went to the Bucks do his thing in New England. I ain't give a shit. I ain't got no damn history with the New England Patriots. Yeah, win all the rings. Yeah, as long as it's not an NFC or NFC South team. So we are real lucky, y'all, for real. I mean, I know the 49ers had their little run when I was young, but I wasn't old enough to realize what they were doing. And technically, the Cowboys had their run, and I guess they sold because they haven't made the NFC Championship game since 1995. But we got 2 good games this week. The Kansas City Chiefs against the Buffalo Bills and the Philadelphia Eagles against Jayden Daniels and the Washington Commanders. How excited would everybody in Louisiana be if Jayden Daniels can complete the Cinderella story and return to Louisiana as a Super Bowl participant? So I want to know you guys' opinion. Who do we have going to the Super Bowl in New Orleans? Would it be Jayden Daniels? Would it be Jalen Hurts? Would it be Josh Allen? Or would it be Patrick Mahomes? Before this season, on the preseason show, I picked the Eagles and the Chiefs. And I never strayed away from that pick, even though the Lions looked real good. The Lions looked real good this season. I was like, ooh, I really think the Lions might be it. I said, nope, Jono, I'm going to stick with my pick because the Eagles haven't given me a true reason to drop them from my pick. And with the Chiefs, I told y'all last year, until I see that eliminated banner with Patrick Mahomes on it, I am never picking against the Chiefs. And I know the Bills look real good. Granted, they could have got beat last week. The Ravens gave them that game, if you ask me. But sometimes you got to be lucky, like I say in my opening rant, when it comes to winning the championship. The Bills look really good, though, and they are going to try their hardest to finally slay this Patrick Mahomes dragon. I'm rooting for the Bills. I love their fan base. When I first year doing the content, I rope-a-dope them, and I put out some bait, if you want to say that. I tricked their whole damn fan base once they realized what the joke was. They've been real cool with me since then. So I actually know personally some Bills fans. So I think it will be pretty incredible if the Bills can actually come to New Orleans. I'm rooting for the Bills. But until I see eliminated Kansas City Chiefs in front of my face, I am never picking against Patrick Mahomes. I said last year, I kept saying, okay, the floor, because the Chiefs were not that good last year, y'all. The Chiefs were not that good last year. If y'all remember, the Chiefs were not that good last year. So every game, I'm like, okay, we now know the floor for Patrick Mahomes is the wild card round. They won that. I said, okay, well, we now know the floor for Patrick Mahomes is the divisional round. They won that. I said, okay, we know for sure that the floor for Patrick Mahomes is the AFC Championship game. They won that. I said, well, okay, we know for sure that the floor for Patrick Mahomes is the Super Bowl. They won the Super Bowl. I am not picking against Patrick Mahomes until I see 0-0-0 on that clock, and the Chiefs have 1 less point than whoever they are playing. I am rooting for the Bills. I hope that they finally get it done. I think that the Bills are the better team, to be honest. I think that the Bills have more talent, but I thought that the Ravens were the better team last year against the Chiefs, and the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. So until Patrick Mahomes gives me a reason, I am going with the Chiefs, and I'm going with the Eagles, y'all. My dream would be, again, I'm going with the Commanders. I am rooting for the Bills and the Commanders, but I'm picking the Chiefs and the Eagles because I picked them in the preseason. I think that those two teams have the moxie, I guess, to win games like this. I hope to be wrong. If we get a Bills and Commanders Super Bowl, that would be pretty damn awesome. One, because I guarantee you there was absolutely no person on this earth who picked a Bills and Commanders Super Bowl in August. But 2, it will be 2 teams who have some cool fans. It will be different, first of all. It will be definitely different. Like the Bills and the Commanders, like that's not even a common matchup. But it will also be like, wow, Jayden Daniels and the Bills Mafia in New Orleans for the Super Bowl. That'd be fun. That'd be fun. But we all know how the football guys treat us, right? Like what we want is usually not what we get. And I think we're going to get the Chiefs versus the Eagles. So let me know in the chat what you guys are picking. Let's get to some of these comments right now. Mick Swagger thinks it's going to be the Chiefs against the Commanders. That would be a good matchup too. I mean, Patrick Mahomes versus Jayden Daniels. I mean, that would be a very good present versus the future type thing, even though Mahomes would probably argue, hey, I'm still the future too. I'm only, 29 years old. Boy, if Jayden Daniels could do it, right? Like, I know who you guys are rooting for. I'm asking who you guys picking, by the way. I know who y'all are rooting for. We all probably are rooting for Jayden Daniels this Sunday. Arvin says the Commanders and the Chiefs as well. Archangel actually agrees with me for the first time in his life, and he's picking the Eagles versus the Chiefs. Javon is picking Washington. Let's see if I have anybody else. Javon is also picking the Bills. So Javon has the Washington Commanders versus the Buffalo Bills. Sonia has the Commanders. Well, she's rooting for the Commanders. I don't know if she's picking the Commanders, but she's definitely rooting for the Commanders. Jerry is picking the Bills versus Commanders. Jerry, it doesn't work like that. You can't be like, oh, well, it's 50-50, my guy. You got to pick the Commanders or the Eagles. Who you picking? But Jerry has the Bills coming out of the AFC. Archangel says the Bills cannot beat the Chiefs and the refs in the Kansas City. We do know that the stigma that the referees favor the Kansas City Chiefs. So we will see how that goes this Sunday. I think that's kind of a little bit overrated, but I will say this past Saturday, the referees were definitely giving Mahomes a lot of charity calls. I would definitely say that. My guy Slim South says it would be cool to see Jayden Daniels come home for the bowl. And I wouldn't even call New Orleans home for Jayden Daniels. I mean, he played in Baton Rouge, right? So I wouldn't call it home, but Louisiana and this is part of New Orleans, of course. So, but I wouldn't say like it's a home type thing. It's not like he's from New Orleans or he went to Tulane, but he obviously has a big part in Louisiana sports history. So it would be cool to see him back in Louisiana. Jerry says he's tired of watching the Chiefs. Again, I understand that. I'm not, because again, it's an AFC team, y'all. Like, imagine a world where this is the Falcons. Imagine a world where this is the Falcons that's going on the Chiefs type run. That's really football hell. Like, we've watched the we've watched the Chiefs and the Patriots be a dynasty for the past 15 years. Okay. Do any of you guys really hate the Chiefs like that? No. If you do, you only hate them because they're winning. Do any of you guys really hate the Patriots like that? No. If you did, it was only because they were winning. Like, okay, let the AFC have their dynasty. If it ain't us, let it be some random ass AFC team. So I do not mind watching the Chiefs win another Super Bowl. I understand why you guys are. I mean, you guys want something new, right? I get that. It doesn't bother me. I always say, if it ain't the Falcons, it ain't the Panthers, it ain't the Bucks, and if it ain't the Cowboys, I'm great. I'm great. We're lucky. I mean, like, imagine this. I saw my guy Ryan Walker say this is the fifth time, I believe, in the NFC in the past, I want to say it was 15 years, maybe 20, that the conference championship game is one of in a division game. I believe we had in the past who we had? We had the Giants and the Eagles one year, I want to say. We've had the 49ers and the Seahawks. We had the Packers and the Bears one year. All that to say, now imagine if we had a year as Saints fans where not only were the Saints not good, but we had to watch a Falcons and a Bucks NFC championship game, right? The NFC South has never had an NFC championship game matchup. We ain't got it that bad, Saints fans. Like, yeah, I understand you guys are tired of Mahomes the same way y'all were tired of Brady. I get all that. But again, ask yourself, is it the Falcons? Is it the Bucks? Is it Dallas? We got it good, Saints fans. We've never had to sit back and say, damn, man, it's the Bucks and the Panthers in the NFC championship game. I mean, somebody got to win. We've never had to say that because there's never been an NFC South matchup. Imagine a Giants fan right now watching Saquon Barkley go to Philadelphia and in his first year get to the NFC Championship game, and they're playing the Commanders. Imagine how a Giants fan feels right now. Imagine how a goddamn Cowboys fan feels right now. They have not made the championship game since 1995, and they got to watch the Philadelphia Eagles, their march nemesis, play the Washington Commanders. They said the goddamn Commanders have jumped ahead of us. We have never had to say, God damn, we got to watch the Falcons and the Bucks at the NFC Championship game. We ain't got it that bad, Saints fans. So when y'all talk about I'm tired of Mahomes, man, I'm referees favor the Chiefs. I understand. And I understand that what I'm saying kind of has no correlation with that, but I'm just saying if you want to be glass half full in life, I'm trying to get my ziggy on. You can at least say, you know what? At least it's not the Falcons that's getting this dynasty-like run. This is not the Buccaneers that's getting all the calls from the referees. That's just my 2 cents about that. So I have, again, the Chiefs versus the Eagles, like I called it in August, in the Super Bowl, but I hope I'm wrong, and I hope it's going to be the Bills and the Commanders. I know who it won't be. It won't be the Los Angeles Rams, because after this past Sunday, great game, by the way. If only Kyron Williams could hold on to the ball, right? If only Kyron Williams could hold on to the ball, but he couldn't. And thus, Sean Jones is on the couch. Now, I know Sean hasn't been on the show like maybe once a month all season long, so he really doesn't even deserve a spot on the couch. That's why I put him like above us, like the Mufasa. Remember, if you ever saw Lion King, when Mufasa came back as a cloud to talk to Simba and say, "Remember who you are, Simba." That's kind of like how Sean is. Sean ain't even a part of the show anymore. He's just a part of the cloud. He's like, "Oh, y'all, remember when I said the Rams were good?" So Sean doesn't get a spot on the couch, but he gets a little cloud type figurine to watch us sit comfortably on the couch as we watch the Rams not be in the NFC Championship game. Should be a good week of football, y'all. Should be a fun week of football. Man, those divisional round games were good. I'm hoping for sure that we get 2 great conference championship games. It should be really, really good football. Remember, if it's the Chiefs or whoever, if it's not the team that you want to win, just remember, it's not the Falcons. All right, you know what? Because I love you guys so much, I ain't got nothing else to do. I actually did get some voicemails this past weekend. I'm going to leave the voicemail line up for maybe 2 more weeks, and then I'm shutting it down for a bit. But I did get some voicemails, and because I got some voicemails, and I don't want you guys wasting your time leaving voicemails for me not to play them, let's get to some voicemails. Even though the Saints haven't played the game in about a month now, you guys still have a lot on your mind. So let's get to our post-divisional round voicemails this week.
What not, Jono? It's your boy Bull calling in, man, for the top once again. Hey, at least the Atlanta Falcons and everybody else is at home with us. Tell your boy Sean he can come on and join us as well, because the Rams will not be doing anything this year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Bo. I mean, it's January 21st now. What is the deadline for us saying Happy New Year? I always thought it was like the weekend after the January 1st date, whatever that date is. So I appreciate the Happy New Year, though, Bo. Thank you. Happy New Year to you, too.
Texas went down. Then they got the Detroit Lions. Then they got the Rams loss and the Ravens loss. Man, Detroit was a 1-1 seed. Dan Daniels, he's our guy. Yeah, Super Bowl's coming up in New Orleans. This is Kyle speaking. Bye.
You're damn right it's coming up, Kyle, and hopefully we get Jayden Daniels in that Super Bowl.
All right. We got to talk. Sean, I know you're not going to be on the show. I already know it. Sean, I got a question for you. Did you win the Super Bowl? Oh, you didn't? Okay, so you didn't win the Super Bowl. Did you even make it to the championship round? You didn't got it. Okay, I understand. My team sucks garbage, don't get me wrong, but one thing you got to know about me, I ain't never going to stop talking. In fact, weren't the Rams the first team the Saints ever beat in the playoffs? Like, shut up. I don't want to hear it, Sean. Bruh, your team had literally a zillion, billion, zillion chances to win that game on Sunday. And you fumbled the bag, literally. Stafford fumbled, Kyron fumbled. Kyron Williams, best running back in the NFL, right? They say they the truth, but I'm not a believer. All I see is them getting owned like a golden retriever. Every time they talk that talk, they can't walk that walk. Every time they call us, they remember the no call. And when they remember the no call, then that's when we got a problem. Y'all failed to call us when y'all needed help because you're too dumb to pick up a phone. So now y'all paying Bright spot. Falcons all suck too. Cowboys all suck too. Everybody else sucks.
I appreciate that, Mikey. Unfortunately, any voicemail addressed to Sean is kind of like one of those. If a tree falls in the forest and nobody's there to hear it, doesn't make a sound. Like we haven't heard from Sean in a month. I don't even know if Sean is did he even enjoy the snow today? I don't know where Sean's at. I don't even know if Sean watched the game. Y'all know like Sean is one of them fake ass fans. I don't even know if Sean watched the game. So I say this with love. Save your energy when it comes to Sean at this point. He doesn't deserve your energy, Mikey. Save it for those dumbass Falcons fans, okay? Save the energy for the dumbass Falcons fans. Sean doesn't deserve your trash talk, Mikey. Sean's in his own little world right now. Save all that energy for them dumbass Falcons
Got
fans.
snow on ground, Louisiana. Whoa. Yeah, what's up, Jono? I know this ain't football related, but I just, man, it feels great, man. My birthday's tomorrow. I wanna wish myself happy birthday, because this is awesome, man. I never get to see this much snow. Oh, the gods have blessed us today, but yeah. Hopefully, the Washington Commanders win against the Eagles. I want Jayden Daniels to be in the Super Bowl, and I'm picking the Bills because I'm tired of seeing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Woo! A shit mojo game.
I think Goofy Cajun J Dog was the first person I ever seen or heard wish himself a happy birthday. That's the shit more than the game certified energy right there. Happy birthday, J Dog. Happy birthday, J Dog. I believe we have one more voicemail, and God bless him. God bless him. Even after last week, even though it's the offseason, he's still going. Y'all know who I'm talking about.
This is James. James. And I fucked up. Fucked up. Want to apologize if y'all heard my wife last week. Things got a little out of hand. We all know that football season makes us go crazy here in Louisiana. I just want to say I fucked up, okay? And Miss Barbara, you didn't deserve that. You didn't deserve my mess to come along into your beautiful world. All right, so I'm going to be a better man, and I'm going to use this off season to reevaluate myself. I told my wife, you got to look beyond the results, though. You got to look beyond the voicemails. Just beyond the voicemails. Huh? Man, who am I kidding? Miss Barbara, you're just so damn beautiful. Did y'all hear her sing her melodies last week? Even with COVID, she's a knockout. I can't help it. Look, Miss Barbara, don't worry about my wife, okay? Don't worry about my wife. I'm going to handle that. I'm going to take care of all that this off season. Because you and me, we belong together like Drew Brees and Sean Payton. The off season. I tell you, the off season. But look, more importantly, what a day today is. Today is January the 21st, and it's snowing. I thought the Atlanta Falcons won a Super Bowl. I thought it was a cold day in hell when I saw snow in Louisiana. I thought the Falcons won a Super Bowl. But in honor of this special day, I can't help myself. So, or should I say, snow. DJ, please. Let it snow. Wow. Let it snow. Let it snow. Let it snow. It's another non-playoff holiday. It's the joy we bring, let the angels sing, 'cause we're together. We got a thing, yeah, can't let it slip away. Though outside is rain and sleet and the birds are wee, I'll give all the world, let it snow. Let it snow, outside it's cold, but the fire's blazing, so Barbara, let it snow, oh baby. Let it snow, let it snow. Yeah. I hope y'all enjoy y'all snow day. I gotta go ahead and deal with my wife.
You know, this is probably why my YouTube numbers are floundering. For 2 more weeks only, if you want to leave a voicemail or text, it's 504 484 9170. I appreciate all of you guys for joining me on this snow day edition of the John O'Barnes Show. I want to give a shout out before we wrap up to my guys at Parcells and Post for shipping me a king cake. Lord knows my lazy ass doesn't like going out there to get king cakes. So thank you to the Parcells and Post. Y'all know Parcells and Post, right? The only one-stop shop where you can buy a This Shit More Than a Game sticker for the low price of $2.83, as well as the This Shit More Than a Game magnets. Man, make sure y'all go and support local small businesses. Check out Parcells and Post at 5208 Magazine Street in New Orleans. And if you are not in New Orleans, but you are craving a king cake, as we are officially in king cake season, hit Parcells and Post up, whether it be on social media or whether you go into the store itself and say, hey, I got a king cake I want to ship to my guy in California, to Texas, to New York, to Chicago, even to Georgia. Maybe them damn Falcons fans want to see what good food actually tastes like. Parcells and Post ships king cakes, and you can get you one and ship it with those guys. So again, make sure you check them out at 5208 Magazine Street and let them know that Jono sent you. I also want to send a special This Shit More Than a Thanks to everybody who left a voicemail, a super chat last week. So to Cheryl, to Ziggy, goddamn Ziggy, if you ain't gonna be on the show anymore, you might as well leave a super chat every week to make up for your absences. And to my guy Trav504, why am I saying voicemail? Every super chat we get, we turn right back into investing into this show. So you guys get the bootleg version of the This Shit More Than the Game air horns. And again, to everybody who left the super chat tonight, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate, again, all the kind words that you all left me today, congratulating me. We'll have more videos soon with our special announcement. But I want to tell you guys on the John O'Barnes Show first, all 285 people are watching across all platforms, because, again, I know that this is the off season. I know that I am not this huge YouTube channel, so I damn sure know that once the Saints season ends, and knowing that the Saints is my main audience, you guys will definitely going to start tuning out. So the ones who actually show up week in and week out and watch all of my streams and videos, I thought you guys for sure on YouTube should be the first ones to know. So we appreciate you guys again, and be ready, because Lil Jono is coming soon, and he's got one date on his mind, and that's to cause havoc to the Atlanta Falcons. Hope you guys enjoyed your snow day. My little man was able to enjoy it in his own unique way. Hopefully this truly was not once in a lifetime, because I would love for Lil Jono to experience this one day. But I know one thing he's never going to be able to experience. That's a Falcons Super Bowl. I appreciate you guys. We'll see you next time on the John O'Barnes Show. And remember, this shit more than a pregnancy.
You know